This is Ugudowski of WeAreChange.org here in London, England. An estimated crowd of 50,000 to almost 100,000 people are here in protest of Gaza. I'm here joined by MP Mr. Corbyn. Mr. Corbyn, can you tell us what's happening here and why you decided to come out here?
Massive march through the streets of London today, organised at 5 days' notice. I don't know the total number, but I'm thinking around 100,000 have come. And we're appalled. 850 recorded deaths. Another 76 bodies discovered this morning in the rubble. Israel, nuclear weapons, Air Force, Navy, Army, fourth largest exporter of arms in the world, occupying the West Bank, pursuing illegal settlement policies all over the West Bank, and conducting a siege against Gaza for the past 10 years. It is a disgraceful situation. This is an attack on a largely defenseless people. There is no equivalence of power here. Some governments around the world have responded positively. Chile stopped all trade. Brazil, Ecuador and South Africa have asked the Israeli ambassador to leave. The European and American governments, unfortunately, are continuing normal trade with Israel. In the case of USA, giving massive military aid to Israel, and in the case of the USA, being the only one to vote against a war crimes investigation at the Human Rights Council. Our demand today here in London is on our government: stop the trade with Israel, suspend the diplomatic relations, and be a force for peace in the world rather than representing this as some kind of war of equals. It's not. It's a war of the powerful against the oppressed. It's got to stop.
We know that the Israeli lobby is very strong in America. How is it here, and what effect does it have on the political actions that the British government is taking?
Well, there are two lobbies here. There is, yes, an Israeli government lobby. There is a very strongly pro-Israel Zionist lobby. But we've just heard an absolutely brilliant speech one moment ago from Glenn Saka from Jews for Justice for Palestine, who read a letter from Dr. Mads Gilbert, working in the Shifa hospital in Gaza. That is the Jewish tradition that I'm interested in. That's the Jewish tradition I understand. And this march in London today is Christian, Muslim, Jewish, humanist, black, white, Asian. We're united in our condemnation of the attacks on the human rights and liberties of the people of Palestine. That's the tradition that we represent.
How do the other members of the British Parliament feel, and how many people do you think it will take to actually motivate them to vote and to be on the side that you're on now?
The parliamentary opinion shift has been enormous in the past few years. There was a time when those of us that raised the issue of Palestine in the British Parliament were frankly in a small minority. No more. Last Monday the Prime Minister made a statement about Ukraine and Gaza. He called for legality on the part of Russia in its relationship with Ukraine, and then said he supported Israel's right to its, quotes, self-defense. It's a fairly ludicrous set of double standards that he's adopted, and that was spotted immediately by a large number of MPs who showed sympathy and support for the Palestinian people and their rights and demanded recognition for Palestine.
My last question is, how do you see this situation unfolding? I mean, obviously we're in day 18. Thousands of people have already died on the side of Gaza. Where do you see the situation unfolding? What do you think is going to happen in the next few days?
Day 18, we're up to nearly 1,000 Palestinians dead and 36 Israelis dead. All deaths are appalling. All deaths are wrong. I think unless there is a lifting of the siege of Gaza as a very minimal, and a stopping of the settlement policy by Israel and the occupation of the West Bank, then we're only into a temporary lull. If you keep on oppressing a people and driving millions of them into exile and refugee camps, then it all boils over again in 2 years' time. And so it's all very well condemning the leadership of Fatah, Hamas or anybody else. The reality is, and they should listen to this, Said Barakat and others have said, we are one Palestinian people and we're standing together. That is the message to the rest of the world.
Thank you, Mr. Corbyn. Really appreciate your time and your insight and being a member of Parliament and coming out here and showing your support to all these people out here who are also trying to have their voices heard. Thank you again so much for watching.